you're looking to dive into topics on how to live a happier, healthier, more fit, and long lifespan, then you've come to the right podcast. Livin the Dream with me, Coach Damian Evans. Together, we will explore the topics on all things health, fitness, and wellness. Together, we will be lifelong learners on this journey to living the ultimate dream. What up, Dream Team? Coach D here coming at you from beautiful sunny San Diego, and I'm here with our beautiful co-host, Jamie Martinez.
What's up, guys?
And we got some more questions from the listeners today, one on lifestyle, one on exercise and movement, and one on nutrition. But before we get into the topics of the day, let's go over what's been going on in our lives recently. What's current events for us?
Yeah, we've had a lot of stuff going on. I feel like every single weekend. Last Sunday, I went and met up with my brother and my sister at Disneyland. They drove all the way down from San Jose for one big full day trip. So that was really cool. Got lots of steps in, ate some great food. My friend who lives in Canada, I swam with her at Arizona State. Shannon, she was in town with her husband, Adam. So we grabbed dinner with them on Friday night, restaurant that I have never been to here in San Diego. So that was fun.
Yeah, shout out to Sea Level. I guess it would be considered over there in the harbor, kind of by downtown where the airport is, but it's the letter C dash level. And this place has one of the best views that you could possibly get at sunset at night. It's awesome. So great presentation, a little on the expensive side, a little spendy, but definitely worth it for a nice little occasional.
Yeah, special occasion.
Yeah. And then didn't you say that they have like one of those rides at Disney that used to be like one of the OG ones that just got redone or something?
Yeah, Splash Mountain. It's officially closed. They're going to completely redo it, refurbish it to Princess and the Frog, Tiana.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I'm really sad because Splash Mountain was a classic, and I just feel like that's just such a big memory. Like, growing up and just seeing all the little animals singing at the end. I know it sounds so silly, but I'm sad, but I do think this new one will be beautiful.
Well, it's probably my least favorite ride there because we always end up doing that like late in the day, and I just end up being soaking wet all night. And so, yeah, I feel like we should, maybe not do that one late at night.
That's how you do it, though. Go out with a bang. That way you just go home after you're soaking wet.
Yeah. All right. And also, we just had a pretty sweet happy hour with our members over at La Costa. So shout out to all those guys that came out. It was great catching up with you. Haven't got to see them in a while because we're doing a lot of work over at the Script Studio. But shout out to all you over there in La Costa. Can't wait to hang out with you again. That was awesome. Tim and Diane are really good friends. They took us out for dinner afterwards. We had some good food and drinks, even though we didn't really know we were going to. But it was a nice little impromptu turn of events. So shout out to all of them over at La Costa.
We love you guys.
Sweet. Let's go over our wins and our struggles over the week. I'll go first. My win, I've been balancing out my recovery with my training pretty darn well. I've really been trying to put that as like a focus of not overtraining, not going too far. So I have to deviate away from my plan a little bit just because I had this goal of working out a certain amount of times per week. And when my body starts to feel really sore, instead I go to the gym and I actually do this high rep, low weight, cable pumping type of thing just to keep the muscles moving. It'd be more of a maintenance type workout. But I instead shoot some hoops. That's kind of like my moving meditation, get my steps in. I work on my skill-based stuff there. And then I do sauna, trying to get sauna in 4 times a week. They're saying that 20 minutes of sauna up to 4 times a week is so good for your health. So I've been really trying to stay consistent with that and see what that has done. And I've been waiting to get this PEMF mat forever. This is a pulse electromagnetic therapy mat, and it's just a little bit expensive. I've been trying to budget a little bit here, and it was finally on sale. And even though I really shouldn't have bought it, I went and I got it, and I'm just super pumped about it. If you haven't heard about pulse electromagnetic field mats, they're these devices that have these electromagnetic waves, and they do it at a specific frequency to promote various health benefits. And while the science hasn't really caught up yet with it, they haven't done a ton of studies on it. People like Tony Robbins, they are preaching about it, and there's a lot of various benefits that they give, like pain relief, super good at alleviating pains for various conditions like arthritis, fibromyalgia, back pain, sports injuries. It helps reduce inflammation and improve circulation and stimulate the production of endorphins, which are natural pain-relieving chemicals. So I thought, God, I have to try this. It's supposed to help improve your sleep, improve your recovery and healing, stress reduction and relaxation, increased circulation, and enhanced mood and mental well-being. I'm like, yes, please. It's kind of like the Joovv red light therapy that is supposed to have a bunch of benefits because it works on the cellular level and even up to like improving bone health and density. So I just started using it with the Joovv, stacking it, and then also we've been sitting on it at night. So I'll keep you guys up to date with that. If you are looking for kind of a more expensive purchase that may help you with your recovery, if you're someone that trains a lot like me, you might want to check into the benefits of PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. Yeah, I'll keep you up to date on that.
Do you know if that deal is still going on? You got a pretty good special there.
No, it's not going on. That's why I had to jump on it. It was like a 50% off deal, and it was one of the podcast guys that I listened to. Shout out to Dr. Stephen Cabral. He does the Cabral Concept podcast. Really good. He actually does one podcast every single day. It's insane. But yeah, he had like this really quick flash sale deal, and I was like, I have to jump on it. Usually I don't do that kind of stuff, but we'll see if it pays off. My struggle, my stomach and digestion have been just a little bit off. I don't know if it just takes a while for this seed probiotic that we're taking to do its work, or if I was just so messed up, or I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that kind of fixes here in a little bit. We'll see. I'll keep you updated, but that's kind of where my struggle's at. That's not that bad if that's my only struggle though. Yeah. What about you? What are your wins and your struggles?
Yeah, so my win is my water intake and actually hitting my goal. So I was getting frustrated with myself because I was totally slacking on my water intake. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get myself a brand new water bottle, feel really good about it. A bunch of my friends, staff members, they have the brand is Stanley. So I just went down that route as well. And I have hit my water goal every single day since I've gotten that cup. So I am super pumped about that. And then my struggle, I would say, is just finding time to de-stress every single day. We have a lot of things going on right now, a ton of moving parts. And so just getting that all dialed in and just not letting it overwhelm me. I was noticing that happening a few times. So just really trying to truly take a moment every single day and pause and realize it's going to be okay. You just continue to mark things off the list slowly, but really, really getting back to focusing on me and giving back to my self-care.
Love it. Very nice. Yep. It's all gonna be okay. It really is. Let's move on to the questions. We have our first lifestyle question. What are we looking at, Jamie?
All right. Question number 1. What does your typical morning routine look like?
Yes, I love this one. So for us, we're fitness coaches and we do coaching either in the morning or in the afternoon. So we have a different routine for our morning routine for when we have the morning off and for when we have the afternoon off. So I'll start it off what mine looks like. When I don't coach in the morning, I usually wake up around 7:30, 8 a.m. without an alarm. I try to do it without an alarm. My body just naturally wants to wake up around that time. It's important that we wake up as much as we can at the same time every day. Even on those days where there's something different going on, having that circadian rhythm set is something that really helps you get better sleep the next coming nights. So I try to do that. I'll have coffee, bulletproof coffee. This is kind of like a more of a ritual thing than it is for my health, even though there are some health benefits of bulletproof coffee. I just like kind of having the routine of opening up the window, getting some sunlight while sitting there with my coffee. Sometimes I'll write down in my notes what I want to do that day if I hadn't done it the night before. Sometimes I'll kind of do some notification clearing. I'll look on my phone, which is not the best thing to do. They say that you're not really supposed to do that, but I like to have everything kind of fresh. I don't look at the crazy stuff. I just kind of clear the notifications on my social media. If I got any messages, I'll clear my emails, that kind of thing. If there's anything that I need to address, I'll put it on the list to do when I do my admin work. Once I finish my coffee, I'll pretty much usually go straight to the red light therapy panel that we have from Joovv, and I'll do 20 minutes of Joovving, and I stack that with meditation. Right now, I was on a 31-day streak, and I was on the way to beating my all-time record of 35, and because we went out with friends, I totally missed it, so I have to start all the way back over. I think I've hit 30 like 5 to 10 times in the last 5 years and just cannot get over 35. Finally lost the streak. Have to start over. That was kind of heartbreaking. But anyway, so that is kind of like I get all my things that I want to do in the morning checked off my spreadsheet list. I get all my creative work done. First thing in the morning, you have like the best opportunity to work on your creative stuff. So I'll do podcast researching, I'll work on notes for the coaches, anything where I'm kind of creating something. I save that for the first part of the day. And then after I finish my creative stuff, or if I need a little break, I'm going to input my physical activity right there. So it goes wake up, morning ritual of coffee. I then get my creative juices going. Sometimes I'll sit out by the pool so I can get that morning sunlight as early as possible. Physical activities, whatever the workout looks like for me, whatever I'm training, whether it's strength or mobility or active recovery. And then I'll probably have my first meal of the day around noon or 1. So a nice little intermittent fast. I guess it would be time restricted eating there. And then if I have the night of work, I'll go and I'll start work then. But if I have the night off and I work in the morning, everything kind of gets flip-flopped, right? So I wake up early with an alarm clock if I'm coaching in the morning. I'll pack my stuff the night before, which is really important for me. So I get everything ready. I literally lay it all out the night before. I'll have my shoes with my socks, my coaching shirt on. I'll have all that stuff ready to go right by the door. So all I have to do is hop in the shower when I wake up. I get my stuff on and I just head out the door. I make sure that I have Organifi protein packed so that I can have some protein shakes while I'm coaching, because I know I'm not going to be able to eat while I'm coaching. And even Organifi green juice, I'll have that ready. So it's more supplementation throughout the morning instead of getting my food in. And then once I get off work in the morning, I'll kind of flip all that stuff and I'll start my Joovv meditation, get all my creative work done. I'll get my admin work done stuff after that, and maybe throw in some physical activity in between the creative stuff and the administrative stuff. So that's kind of how I lay it out. I make sure that in the first part of my day, like the first 6 hours of the day, if I'm not working, I make sure it's creative. I'm creating something. I even have it on my spreadsheet where I want to create something rather than consume. And then I can go into my later part of the day where I'm listening to audiobooks, listening to podcasts, consuming that information, and then writing down my notes on how I'll be teaching that or whatever I want to do with that information that I'm learning. So kind of a lot there, but it's all has its own little flow. I feel like my brainwave state in the morning, I don't want to do all the tedious admin work right off the bat. I want to make sure that I use that brainwave state of being clear to create things. So that might be something that helps those of you listening. But yeah, how about you? What does your morning routine look like? I know you have 2 different ones too.
Yeah, so very similar in the things that we do. So on a morning where I have it off and I don't coach or have anything to do until the afternoon, same thing. I am all about, we keep our phones out of the bedroom. And if I've been like extra tired going into my morning off, I will flat out say, I'm not setting an alarm at all. I just want to wake up when my body wants to wake up, give it the full rest that it needs, which typically is, now we've kind of trained our bodies to get up around that 7:30, 8 a.m. time, which is great. Right? Then we'll make that bulletproof coffee. I usually take it and go Joovv while I drink my coffee. Then I try to get the sunlight in after. But I've noticed that I actually do more of the admin-y stuff right off the bat when I am Joovving and drinking my coffee. I like to knock out those little annoying tasks that I don't want to do later. I like to mark those off first. And then I typically, I know, awful, but then I'll start to scroll. But I really try to do it to gain inspiration for things that we can utilize in our social media as well. So I'm trying not to just be consuming just to consume. I'm trying to go into it with a good headspace of why do I like this? What can I use from this post? Stuff like that, just to give me ideas. Then after done Joovving, I typically head out into the kitchen and I like to get all of our stuff ready and prepped for dinner. So we are super lucky. We've been with Butcher Box for years now. So we always have really good quality protein in our freezer at all times. So I like to map that out the night before, pick the protein, have it waiting in the fridge, defrosting overnight. And then the morning of, I'll go in and prep all the veggies, prep the potatoes, the carb, whatever we're going to have for dinner. That way it's all set and done. So that way when I know I get home from coaching, it's super easy and dinner's not going to take forever. So I like to map that out, have it all set for myself. And then I usually try to get my workout in prior to me coaching. I'll usually have my first meal about that 12 p.m., 1 p.m. time slot, let it digest for a little bit, and then get that workout in before I have to coach. Similar with you when I'm not coaching in the afternoon and I'm actually working in the morning. I just kind of flip flop everything, make sure I still get it in, just in the opposite order.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing that came to mind while you were talking about the social media thing, I know this isn't really part of the question, but it's so interesting how social media can be a tool that we can use to help our lives get better, or it can be a tool that uses us. And what I mean by that is you can curate how you want your social media to be, where you're liking and engaging with more things that help you with whatever you're trying to do. For me, I use my social media as a place to save videos of exercises that I can then send to my clients. So I follow a bunch of physical therapists that teach people how to get out of pain. And then when someone comes to me with a knee injury or a shoulder injury, I have like 500 videos that I can share with these people. So a member comes into me expecting to like kind of just be, I want to tell you, coach, that I have this knee injury thing, so I'm going to be staying away from this. And most coaches would just kind of be like, okay, cool, let's stay away from it. And that would be that. Whereas I take a note in my phone, and then after I finish coaching that day, I'll send all the people that talk to me these links that they can work on. And this is a personal touch that is like, I care about their success. I want them to feel better so that they don't always have to just come into the session and be like, my knee always hurts. Okay, well, here's how you can get yourself out of pain. Here's how you can earn your way to a healthy, pain-free, independent body. And that's how I curate my social media. There are these one-offs where there's a political this or that, and then I'll just hide it. And my algorithm will say, okay, this guy doesn't want this. And so I get less and less of it over time. And now I'm using it as a tool, and it's not going to be this place where I can get into this doom scrolling type of scenario where I get stuck for a half hour and I finish watching social media videos for a half hour and I just feel terrible. You know, and it's actually something that I can use to help better my goals and my people around me's goals. So that kind of came to mind when you were talking about social media. And definitely shout out to ButcherBox. If you guys don't, if you eat meat and you don't know about ButcherBox, give it a look. We do have a bunch of discount codes of a lot of professionals that we follow. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, and I will send you the discount code. And every month they have like a kick-ass deal of unlimited. We got unlimited bacon. So every time we do an order, they put a thing of bacon in there, and it's just awesome. So check out ButcherBox for sure. That's enough on the lifestyle question of our morning routine. Hopefully that was helpful in some way. Let's go on to question number 2.
Boom. All right. So question number 2. How many times a week should I be working out for my goal? My goal is to be strong, lose some body fat, and have more energy.
I love this question because it's going to be like every other question that is asked, and it depends on the person. And in this case, this person wants to be strong, lose body fat, and have more energy. So let's talk about just any goals. When it comes to determining how many times a week you should be working out, it's really essential to consider all the factors: your goals, your fitness level, your schedule for sure, and your overall health where you're at right now. There's no one size fits all answer. Even if you have all the exact same things as another person when it comes to your goals, fitness level, schedule, overall health, it still has to be something that you stick to consistently, because consistency is key. So regardless of your goals, consistency is going to be crucial here. You have to have this in your life as something that you enjoy and you look forward to. So that right off the bat can be you, and personally way different than someone else that has the same goals as you, because it's something that you look forward to. So that's the first thing that you should look to in your head when you're asking yourself, how often should you train? First, I got to find something that I love to do that I can do consistently. The CDC, they say, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, they say that you should work out for 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise and 75 minutes of vigorous intensity, not and, or. So 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous. And they also added just recently 2 days a week, at least 2 days a week of resistance training. So you could follow those guidelines if that's something that you wanted to start with. But think about this. You got to vary your workouts, because most of the time we do shift towards the things that we enjoy. So once you find a category of something you enjoy, now you got to think about, what are the things that I'm deficient in? Am I really good at strength, but not so good at cardio? Am I great at cardio, but not so strong, and I need to work on my muscle mass, my bone density? What about my power muscles? Am I losing power muscles because I'm always just going steady state running or steady state swimming, whatever that looks like? What can I incorporate into this routine that's going to help me pick up my lagging parts? You also have to listen to your body too. You could tell yourself that you're going to work out 5 days a week, but if you start to train too hard, too fast, you are going to overtrain, get too sore. You're going to be creating too much of a muscular damage stimulus. And if the recovery's not there, you're just grinding yourself into the ground. So you also have to listen to your body. Then you want to personalize it based on whatever goals you have. So I'm going to personalize simply for what I want the most. I'm going to prioritize that first. If I'm looking for strength mostly, I got to make sure that I put in that strength training. If I want to get my heart health, if I want to get my brain health better, I'm going to start to prioritize some steady state cardio or some HIIT training cardio, something like that. Make sure that you personalize and prioritize the things that you truly want the most, and then supplement with the other things, making sure that you're not going to be deficient in them. And you can always do this in phases. Maybe you do this for 3 months, you focus on one thing really hard, and the other stuff has to get put on the back burner. And then you pick it up the next month or so, and you can kind of get all those other things that you may not have focused on and just kind of go back and forth like that. That's totally acceptable. But the biggest thing that you could do for this question, how many times a week should I be working out for my goal? It's just like anything. Go seek a professional who can give you guidance on this. If you're someone that's trying to save money, but you've never done that before, getting a financial advisor to help you, at least at the beginning, give you the base foundation of where you should start so you don't have to do all this trial and error and figure it out yourself. If you're someone that is really interested in cooking, go get a cooking lesson. If you're someone that needs help with your fitness, go get a fitness professional. They will tell you exactly what you need to do, how long to do it, how often to do it, and they can help you phase it. You don't have to be with them forever. A good trainer or a good fitness professional or a good coach is going to help you teach yourself how to, and hopefully you can just want to be with them long term because they're there to support you and they're there to answer any goals and guide you along the way. But eventually you should be able to do most of it by yourself if you do invest in a professional. That's super important. But if we go back to this person who wants to be strong, lose some body fat, and have more energy, to be strong, the goal, I say, is to hit each major muscle group at least twice per week. So when I was going through my favorite splits, I usually hit a push, a pull, and a lower body, and I try to do that twice a week. So that would be a 6-day on, 1-day off split because I'm breaking it up into smaller body part groups, and I'm going to do that more frequently because I do have a consistent workout schedule. If you're someone that only can work out 3 times a week, you're going to put all of those things together, maybe like a full body lift, and do that full body 3 times, 2 to 3 times a week. So you're at least hitting each major muscle group, chest, back, legs, arms. You're at least hitting those at least twice per week. For fat loss goals, body fat loss goals, it's going to be mostly your diet. So whatever you're looking for when it comes to your physical goals, strength, power, stability, that right there, those exercises won't change. If you want to bulk and gain muscle, you're going to want to be eating enough protein and enough calories to put yourself into a small calorie surplus. So you're consuming more than you're expending. And if you want to lose body fat like this person, they can continue to do whatever it is, that strength training, that stability training, muscle size, hypertrophy training, while going into a calorie deficit. So eating a little bit less than they're consuming. That's how you're going to get your fat loss goals the best. Increasing your steps throughout the day. So talking about what if I'm going to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, what am I doing on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday? I got to make sure that I get my movement up to where it needs to be by tracking my steps, seeing what that does to my body fat. If I'm not losing weight, increasing steps by 1 to 2,000 a day or a day on average could be a great strategy here. You could cut calories, increase movement. You could do a little bit of both depending on where you're currently at. If you're someone that yo-yo diets a lot and now you have low muscle mass, a low daily caloric burn, meaning your metabolism is not burning as many calories as it should per day, then that's going to be something that you want to work on with increasing your calories and doing a reverse diet or a bulk so you can gain that muscle mass back. You wouldn't want to cut calories in that situation. So it all depends on where you're currently at, what you've done in the past. If you're someone that has done yo-yo dieting and diminished that metabolic burn per day, then you want to make sure that you have to rebuild that. That's a hole that you have to dig out of. If you're someone that is just kind of average maintenance, you're good to go, you haven't done any of that, and now you're looking to cut for a special event, that's when you can kind of increase your movement a little bit, decrease your calories, and that you should be set up really nicely for a quick 3-week cut if you could do that. Just making sure that you don't lose muscle mass at the same time. And then you just got to do what works best for you. Even if this professional says whatever this strategy is, you do it and you feel like trash, then it's not the best for you. Maybe something going on with your physiology, your genetics, anything that comes on with your lifestyle. That's going to be something that you need to address and do what works best for you. That's why this is kind of like a fun game of trial and error. And the more data you collect, the more information you're going to have in order to make the right decision for you. So did I answer all the things on that? What do you think? Anything else I could have talked about?
No, think you nailed it, because it's so different person to person. That's why truly, if you're looking to really see those big changes, it's so important to have a coach.
Okay, cool. So let's leave it at that. If I didn't answer that question to your liking, send me a message and I can kind of tailor it to what you're currently doing. Let's move on to the third and final question of nutrition.
And question number 3, can I eat carbs and still lose weight?
Yes, and we really like this question because we get this all the time. We'll have members saying, I'm eating really good. I'm not eating any carbs and I'm going for my fat loss journey. And we kind of just nod our head and say, awesome, let us know how that's working for you. And in the back of our heads, we're thinking there's so many different types of carbs, and carbs have such a bad name. Now, it's important to note that it is crucial for you to eat fats, and it is crucial for you to eat proteins. These are essential macronutrients. Carbohydrates is the only macronutrient that you technically don't have to eat to survive. You could not eat a carb for the rest of your life and still do okay, but is okay optimal? Optimal is much different than okay. And depending on your physical activity, your training, depending on your performance and what you're looking for out of life, carbohydrates can be a great source of fuel. And there's different scales of carbs, right? All the way from the left side to Skittles and Coca-Cola and candy, to the other side where you have starches like potatoes and sweet potatoes, and you have broccoli and kale. All those wide range of foods are carbs. So saying that I don't eat carbs is kind of like putting all those things in one basket. And I don't think that that's super fair. And I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do, especially for those people that are doing high intensity training, those people that are looking for more performance and strength when you're trying to build muscle. Carbohydrates can be a huge, huge thing that you can leverage in order to get that goal. And not to say that you can't get those goals without eating carbs, but it's definitely something that could take a little bit longer and it could be a little bit harder of a process for you. So carbohydrates are great for higher intensity physical activity. So if you like to do sprints, if you like to do HIIT classes, things like that. Whereas fats do a greater job of fueling low intensity exercises, longer and more sustainable exercises like hiking, rucking, walking, swimming, biking, that kind of thing, as long as that's not high intensity when you do those exercises. So can you still lose weight and eat carbs? Yes, you definitely can, as long as you're expending more energy than you're consuming. So doing that by tracking your calories, tracking your movement, tracking in some way when it comes to the weight on the scale, the body fat percentage, the inches, are you losing? That means you're in that calorie deficit while eating carbs is totally fine. Making sure, we like to say, if you can get your protein amount, whatever your desired body weight is, eat protein 0.7 grams per pound of desired body weight. So if I'm a 200-pound person, I'm looking to get at least 140 grams of protein, up to 1 gram per pound of desired body weight. So 140 up to 200 grams for that 200-pound person would be a great protein range. And then distribute your carbs and fats to whatever your preference is. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough energy for your HIIT classes. You can increase the carbs. Maybe you feel like the carbs are giving you these sugar spikes and these energy dips and crashes. So maybe we substitute some of those for fats and proteins. You have a ton of different options here, and you just have to do what's best for you. What do you see yourself sticking to long term? Whatever you're consistent with, that's going to be what's going to get you to your goals the fastest. And can you do it forever? Can you do this diet forever? That's the big thing. What do you think, Jamie? What do you like about carbs when it comes to your training, your eating, and fat loss?
So exactly what you said, right? If we are doing super high intense workouts, then carbs actually do help speed up the recovery process right after that workout. So if you're doing those workouts, you gotta have carbs in your diet. And just realize, right, there's a difference between complex carbs and simple carbs. Simple carbs are gonna be cookies, French fries, white bread, donuts, bagels, all that good stuff. Whereas complex carbs are gonna look like sweet potatoes, whole wheat bread, bananas, broccoli, vegetables, just kind of think that area, that side of it. And the difference, simple carbs, they provide a super short little burst of energy, whereas complex carbs take longer to break down in your body. So they're just going to be a more long lasting energy source for you.
Yeah. And then once you get to the level of where you're trying to make tiny little 1% tweaks here and there, you can start thinking about the timing of your carbohydrates. So if you're an athlete that has a performance and you are needing a little bit of quick energy, you can eat some simple carbohydrates right before your effort, whatever that looks like. If you're someone that's going to be working out in the morning and you don't have time to eat before you work out, maybe you're eating those complex carbs the night before. So those complex carbs are going to be digesting, absorbing, and then you can use them as fuel the next morning. So that's going to be like the very top 1%. You can start playing with that, but you can use what you know about how your body digests and absorbs these simple to complex carbohydrates, and you can use that as your advantage. But for the most part, the answer to this question is yes, you can still eat carbs and still lose weight. Let's move on to this week's recommendation. This week's recommendation is Jim Kwik, JimKwik. He runs the Quick Brain podcast. He has an exceptional YouTube channel, and he teaches you how to learn and read faster. He's famous for training actors to learn their scripts for their movies in a short period of time. He trains politicians to learn their speeches and memorize their speeches. And he's been famous for memorizing hundreds of people's names in order, just simply from these brain exercises that he does and his memory training that he teaches people how to do. So he helps people prevent cognitive decline. It's amazing. We highly recommend checking out the Quick Brain podcast, his YouTube channel. He's got some great stuff, Jim Kwik. And we wanted to leave you with a quick quote here. We read it the other day, and it was perfect for what we do here on the Livin the Dream podcast. And it's from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, but learn as if you were to live forever." Live as if you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. That just totally encapsulates being a lifelong learner, but also being present in the moment and really taking time to find appreciation for just how amazing this life is that we live. So
Hashtag YOLO. You only live once. Buy the ticket. Do the thing. Why not?
yeah, all right. And that's it for today. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for listening and learning here with us on the Living the Dream podcast. We are so grateful for you being a part of this lifelong learning journey. If you have any topics you'd like to discuss, please let us know in the comments or by messaging me on Instagram at CoachDamian_SD. Be kind to someone today, smile at someone today, and leave every person you come into contact with better than before. Until next time, friends, keep living the dream.